the TV station's transmitter, which sends the signals out as radio waves. These signals can then be picked up by a TV antenna hooked up to the television set. Inside the TV, the radio waves are changed back into electrical signals.
And I get to see cartoons.
Right. Now, sometimes the radio waves travel directly to the antennas on the houses. And here we are.
Where?
In our television. See, Victor, in here, things happen pretty much like in the camera. You have the same red, green, and blue beams.
What's this, Dad?
These are the electron guns, where the beams of light are changed back into picture and sound.
Come on, Dad. Let's go.
Taxi!
I was wondering where you two had got
What?
to.
These electrons are going to bombard the television screen. Look closely at the 3 color beams, Victor.
Wow! It's like magic!
Thousands of red, green, and blue dots hit the screen at the same time. And all these dots work together to form the color picture.
Hey, you're just in time.
The cartoons are starting.
Hey, cool!
But I wanted to watch the news.
But the rest of us want to watch cartoons.
Hey, come back here with that.
Hey!
Hold it! If that's the way you're going to behave, no TV for any of you. Good day.
Who has all the answers about the sun and moon and stars? That would be Zygomatic. Who can tell us all about the atmosphere and Mars? That would be Zygomatic. Pick a spot in outer space, they've been all around the place. Zygomatic, here they come.
Whoa! That's great, Dad! Do it again, please!
Oh, must we?
Wow! That's the coolest one yet! It's still up there!
That's no firework. It's a comet.
What's a comet?
Come on, I'll show you. Here, take a good look.
So that's a comet? You know, it kind of looks like a snowball.
Very good, Victor. Astronomers sometimes refer to comets as dirty snowballs. They're made up of ice, dust, rock, and gas. What do you say we take a really close look? There's a comet straight ahead.
Oh, it's getting pretty cold here.
Well, we are in the outer solar system. The sun is billions of miles away. Ah, we're passing Pluto now, the furthest planet from the sun. But where comets come from is even further away.
How can we see them if they're so far away?
Comets move in wide trajectories around our sun. But some of them orbit in an oval or ellipse that brings them closer to the Earth. That's when you can see them. Aha! And that seems to be where this one is heading. We'll follow it.
You know, now that I think about it, it was cool and refreshing in the outer solar system.
Look how bright it's getting.
That's because the sun is melting the ice, and the light is reflecting off of it.
It looks like it has golden hair.
The ancient Greeks thought so too. In fact, the word comet comes from the Greek word for hair. But the comet's tail is really just dust and gas that's released as the ice melts. As the comet gets closer to the sun, the solar wind drives the dust and gas away from the comet. This is why the comet's tail always points away from the sun. A comet's tail can stretch millions of miles.
Achoo!
I had no idea comets were so big.
They're really not that big. It's just that they get sort of stretched out. In fact, you could fit all of the solid matter that makes up a comet into a suitcase. Now, Victor, as the comet moves away from the sun, it freezes again.
And goes back to being a big, dirty snowball in outer space.
Exactly.
How often do we see comets, Grandpa Matic?
Well, it varies. Comets' orbits are highly irregular. There's one comet, called Enki, whose orbit carries it around Mars and the sun. It's visible every 3 years. But each time it approaches the sun, it loses some of its matter, so it's slowly growing smaller and duller. The most famous comet, Halley's Comet, appears every 76 years. Another comet, Kahooted, takes 200,000 years to complete one orbit.
I think that about covers... Comets! Can we go home now?
Sure we can. After I tell Victor that there are lots of comets out there. We only see a few of them from Earth.
I think Zygo's allergic to comets.
You have seen nothing like this. With these two guys you can't miss. You wonder what's inside you. These are just the guys to guide you. Come on, let's go. Let's go, let's go. These guys are in the know. Microwaves go.
Don't eat so much, Scopo. You're gonna make yourself sick.
Just one more.
No, you're setting a bad example for Victor.
That hamburger looks really good. Uncle Micro? Uncle Scopo? Hey, where did you go?
How Victor must have activated the gizmo by accident.
Hey! Ugh, that greasy burger was disgusting enough at normal size. Victor, stop chewing!
The gizmo zapped us into your mouth.
We've got to get out of here, or we're going to end up the same way your food does.
What happens to the food we eat, Uncle Micro?
Well, your body will digest or break down this hamburger to provide itself with energy and nutrients.
And your uncles if you're not careful.
Digestion begins when you start to chew. Your teeth crush the food, and it gets mixed with your saliva, which softens it.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry, Uncle Micro.
Quick, Micro, use the gizmo.
In good time, Scopo. Right now, we have to answer Victor's question. This is your esophagus, Victor.
It's the tube that runs from your mouth to your stomach.
It flexes to push the food down into the stomach.
Micro, it's pushing us into Victor's stomach.
Don't worry, everything's under control.
Uncle Micro, Uncle Scopo, are you all right?
We're fine, Victor. We've arrived in your stomach.
Huh. Well, what happens now?
Well, the stomach is going to break the food down until it's entirely liquid.
You know, I don't want to be entirely liquid.
I told you, it's under control. Now then, the walls of the stomach have muscles that blend the food with your gastric juices.
Gastric what?
Gastric juices. Acids that break down the food. Watch.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it takes about 2 hours for the food to be completely liquefied by the stomach. Then it moves into the small intestine, a coiled tube that's about 25 feet long.
What does it do?
Well, the walls of the small intestine are lined with little projections called villi.
They tickle.
Yes, I suppose they would. But actually, they remove the substances your body needs from the food. These substances then pass into the bloodstream so they can be carried to all the cells of your body. That's how your body grows and stays healthy. What's left passes into the large intestine, which absorbs some of the water. After that, your body gets rid of anything it has no use for.
Oh, Micro, I think it's gonna get rid of us if we don't get out of here.
Oh, we don't want that.
Wow. Oh.
Thanks, Uncle
Oh,
Micro.
oh.
That was really interesting. Now, can you show me what happens when we eat a chili dog?
Well, Victor, what'd you learn today?
Oh, tons of neat stuff. I learned that cold air and hot air affect our Earth in different ways. I learned that plants are filled with chlorophyll, which makes them green. And that in autumn, their leaves fall because they get less chlorophyll. I learned that, like magic, thousands of blue, green, and red dots hit my television screen at the same time, and those dots form a color picture. I learned that comets look like big, dirty snowballs because they are made up of ice, dust, rock, and gas. And I learned that digestion begins when my teeth crush the food.
Hey!
And the saliva in my mouth softens it.
Sounds like a pretty big day.
It was, but he still had plenty of questions left for next time.